Hey gamer! I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm finally home, so we're so back. I'm very excited to be stationary in one place for at least a little while. I wanted to hop on today to make this video because lately I've been yearning for things to add to my collection, okay? And I'm in a little bit of a brokey era, so I'm not able to add things to my collection. So I spent a lot of time window shopping on eBay and Mercari and Facebook Marketplace. Mostly eBay. eBay is the best place, but you know, we check around the whole internet for things that we can't buy. But yeah, I wanted to make this video about my wish list. I have a lot of retro game things that I really want, and I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it because I can't buy them, so why not just talk about how much I wish I could buy them. I do try to be not wasteful or over consumptuary in my collecting because, first of all, games are not the only thing I collect. So I have a lot of junk, guys. I have a lot of junk. It's not junk to me, but I think if anyone looked at my collections, they might call them junk. But all that is to say, I try not to be extra about my game collection. I try and take it slow, take it easy, not just buy things to buy things, because I can really admire a huge game collection, and I really do scroll through my Instagram Explore page and I see these collections of just every single pink pastel sparkly beautiful console of every single type, and I'm jealous. I'm so jealous of those. But even if I won the $1 million, I don't think it would ever be me. And maybe I'll make a different video about that one day, about my philosophy about collecting stuff. To wrap it up, I really try to be realistic in how I imagine my collection one day looking, even though I really truly admire a huge full collection that checks every single box that you could ever imagine. But I don't see that in my future, so I will give you my realistic wish list of retro games and consoles and what have you. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. That's so embarrassing. Let's just jump right into it. I'm leaving that in just so you guys can see how ridiculous the things I say that I cut out are. I sound like a cartoon character sometimes. It's so embarrassing. That being said, I'm just gonna break it down by category. So I'll start with consoles that I want and then games that I want by each console. So first things first, what consoles do I want? I've showed off the handheld consoles that I have, but you already know that 4 is not enough. I need more one day. And I think one thing that would heal a little piece of me is getting back a Game Boy Advance SP with the good screen. I always forget which one it is. It's like, I think it's Game Boy Advance SP AGS 101 is the one with the nice backlit screen. I want one of those back really bad. I think I might have told you guys this story, but I sold my Game Boy when I was like 14 because I wanted to buy DS games because I was like, oh, I'm so over my Game Boy. I want to get DS games. So I did that, and I'm really sad that I did that because it wasn't worth it. In my memory, it wasn't worth it, okay? Whatever games I bought did not add up to, I think I probably got about 40 bucks for that Game Boy Advance that I sold, and the games that I purchased with it, I think I bought Pokemon Diamond and I bought something else, and I just know deep down I got ripped off. I didn't get ripped off, I ripped myself off. I sold this in like 2014 probably, so I ripped myself off by getting rid of that Game Boy Advance SP. But I would like to get back a Game Boy Advance SP. Speaking of Game Boys, a Game Boy that I want but have never had is the Game Boy Micro. I think it's an adorable model. The Game Boy Micro that I dream of having in specific, I don't know what it's called because some people call it pink, some people call it lavender, some people call it purple. I see listings call it all different shades of purple and pink. To me, it looks like a pastel pink. It looks like the same kind of like sort of frosted pink as the original 3DS had a version of. So I don't know what you would call it. I really just want to be able to play some of the few Game Boy Advance cartridges that I have on their native console, whether that be the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Micro. Whenever I try and play Game Boy games on my DS Lite, I don't enjoy it as much because part of me is just thinking, I'm so frustrated by the extra buttons here and I just want to play it on what it was on, if that makes sense. Like that's a really vague statement, but there's something to be said about playing games on the exact console that they were made for. Okay? That's just how I feel about it. That brings me to my next want, which is a DSi XL. I want a DSi XL because though I have a stunning, beautiful, original DS Lite from when I was a child, there's something missing when I play DS games on my 3DS. Because, so here's the thing, I don't like the small screens on the DS Lite. I understand that they are standard for the DS Lite is the DS Lite. It's a good console. Okay. I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy it because I'm spoiled by larger screens. I really like playing my DS games, but I dream of playing them without those little borders on the side. So I guess something about the DS was that the top screen and the bottom screen were the same width. So when you play your DS games on a 3DS XL, there's like lines, there's little margins on the top screen. And maybe I'm just so nitpicky that I dream of I don't want that. I dream of having a DSi XL. The DSi XL has beautiful big screens. I want the burgundy one really bad because I think that's the prettiest that it came in, other than special editions, which I'll make a whole separate video one day about all the special edition consoles that I wish I could have, because that list is so long it deserves its own little moment, because there's a lot of special edition consoles that I'm like, I deserve that. No, I don't deserve them. Now, you have seen if you see my other video, you've seen both of my 3DS consoles. I have the one, the only cheese block 2DS, and I have a 3DS XL, and I love both of them, but one more 3DS would honestly, in my opinion, make my 3DS collection complete. I don't need all of them. Like, personally, I don't need the first 3DS. It's cool, but I wouldn't play on it, so I would really only be buying it to let it sit on a shelf. So I would probably pass on that. I would also pass on the new Nintendo 3DS because you've already heard my take on small screens. I don't like them. Even though they're high quality screens on that system, I just wouldn't want it. And then the other two 3DS systems that exist, the 2DS XL and the new 3DS XL, I would want either one of those. But specifically, I would want the 2DS XL because I really like, it would be the 2DS LL because the colorway that I like was only released in Japan. It's the white with the lavender borders on it. So that's the 2DS I would want. I think I would also settle for a burgundy. Yes, I think I would also settle for a burgundy new 3DS XL, but I already want the DSi XL in that color, so I just wouldn't want two systems that look so identical. I mean, they obviously don't look exactly the same, but I try and vary the things that I purchase so that I can cover my bases of things that I like, and burgundy is one of my favorite colors, so I'd probably save that for the DSi XL. And you guessed it, I have a special edition of the new Nintendo 3DS XL that I would want. I'll tell you a different time, I swear. Finally, another one that I would want is a PS. Vita or P, I don't know. I think I lean more towards Vita. I've been watching a lot of videos about the PSP and PS Vita because that is a world of handhelds that I have never even honestly touched. Like, physically, literally, I've never held one in my hands. But I find them really interesting. I know they have a cool selection of games, and I really like Persona games, if you can't tell. So definitely would want to explore the Persona games that exist for those consoles. And yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning. I really want to get a PS Vita or PSP one day. I lean more towards Vita. We'll see. We'll see. And also I've heard they're really good to mod, so I be modding and I want to keep modding, so I want to get more moddable systems, if you know what I'm saying. I guess that's my roundup on consoles that I would want. I think I try not to be too greedy, okay? I try not to be too greedy with my collecting. I want to leave consoles out in the ecosystem for other people. Not that me buying even 10 more consoles would sway anything, but still, hypothetically in my brain, this is me not being greedy, okay? Let's talk about games that I would want. So as far as 3DS games go, I've told you, I've been modding. So I have access to all the games I could ever dream of. But I do like to keep physical games on hand because I like the boxes. Having the physical game, there's not much else to it. I was really trying to think of something profound to say there. As you can tell, my videos are unscripted. I need to work on writing a script, but I just get these ideas and I'm not really good at like sitting down to write. So that's why I can be a little bit rambly or jumbled when I'm talking in these videos, because I still haven't gotten the whole writing a script thing down yet, but I'll get there. So let's just start with the 3DS games that I would like. Number one, we got Majora's Mask 3D. I've never played Majora's Mask. Fun fact, Ocarina of Time 3D was my very first Zelda game. I feel like that's a little bit of an embarrassing thing to say, although it's a splendid way of playing Ocarina of Time. I don't really own any of the classic systems, like I don't have a GameCube or anything, so that's my best way to play some of these Zelda games, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I just really want a physical copy of Majora's Mask 3D because I do. That's actually as best as I can explain myself for that one. Number two, we have Kid Icarus Uprising. So I've only played a little wee bit of Kid Icarus Uprising ever since I modded my 2DS, and I really like it. I think it's a fun game. I've never played a Kid Icarus game before, so I like Palutena solely from Smash. Like, she's that girl in Smash, and I've never played a game with her in it, but whenever I saw her in Kid Icarus Uprising, I was like, that's my girl. It made me kind of want a physical copy of that game because the box is really beautiful too, so that is another one. I want to have that box on my shelf. I have a physical cartridge for it, be able to take it around when I take out my vanilla 3DS. All right, number three. The next game on my list that I would want a physical copy of is Resident Evil Revelations. The entire reason why I would want a physical copy of Resident Evil Revelations is because I love Resident Evil. That's it. I don't know how many of you also like modern games. What's a modern game? I'm just kidding. I'm sure you all do. But Resident Evil 7 and 8 were two games that are so beloved to me. I am a serial replayer of Resident Evil 7 and 8. So for me, having a physical copy of Resident Evil Revelations would just make me happy. And that's that. That's my full reason. And lastly, but not leastly, a game I would like a physical copy of for 3DS is Shin Megami Tensei 4. You know, I have a beautiful game called Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. Beautifully boxed, perfect condition. It's stunning. Where's her sister? The sister who came before her, Shin Megami Tensei 4. I want that. I just want to pair them up because they're two sisters who deserve to sit next to each other on my shelf one day. Moving right along, chat. I really want some DS games. The first DS game that I want is Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. You might be wondering, why would you just only want the first in a trilogy, in a beautiful, riveting trilogy? Why are you only seeking out the first game? Well, it's because I already have the second and third game in physical form with their boxes, but I do not have the first one. And again, completionist moment for me would be having three sisters together on the shelf. That's how I feel about it. That's gonna be my thing that I say because I don't have like a huge justification for things that I want. I'm just like, that's how I feel about it. Another DS game that I would really like is Super Princess Peach. Okay, so I guess people back in the day had a little bit of a problem with it because they felt like it was stereotyping women as very emotional. I think it's really beautiful that her emotions in the game are her powers. I think it's actually from my perspective, it's kind of the opposite of stigmatizing. I don't know. I think that some of the perception of that is a little bit twisted and should be re-looked at with a new lens because I don't think there's anything wrong with being emotional. I just think it's a beautiful addition to the game that her emotions are so powerful that they, first of all, affect everything around her, her enemies, everything. And at the same time, she's fully in control of them. She can change them at will in that game. We're all different, and sometimes some people are more sensitive. And I don't think that the takeaway from Princess Peach's character having her powers fueled by emotions is a negative thing. I don't think it's a negative thing. It makes me happy and it makes me feel kind of seen low-key because I got some big emotions, chat. Anyways. Another DS game that I really want is Nintendogs Dalmatian and Friends. This would be a repurchase. This was one of my very first DS games as a kid and I just want to get it back. Like, I have Nintendogs plus Cats for the 3DS, which very similar. If you know, you know, it's very similar, but I just want that original game back. I mean, I always wanted a Dalmatian when I was a kid, and so that's why that was the edition of Nintendogs that I got. And I just want it for the nostalgia factor. The next console that I'm going to talk about is one that I haven't talked about on this channel yet, but I want a couple games for the Wii. And I don't currently have a Wii. Well, I sort of do. I have a Wii in storage somewhere that I have to get, that I really want to get. I'm really excited to get back into the Wii once I get that out of storage. And I have a couple games that I really want to try out that I never got the chance to. Number one, you could probably smell this from a mile away if you know anything about me, but I want Animal Crossing City Folk, and I want it bad. I never got the chance to play Animal Crossing City Folk because I played Wild World as a kid. That was my Animal Crossing game up until I was 17. And so for me, Wild World was enough. Like, I didn't need it for the Wii. I think something my parents always taught me was and it's a good lesson to have, but it's like, oh, well, if you have this version of it, do you really need another version of it? And that is true. Now I'm an adult who is trying to chase down all of the things that I missed in the past to try and experience it now. So yeah, I really want to have Animal Crossing City Folk, even though many have told me it's exactly like Wild World, But there's one difference. There is that fountain with that little chihuahua dog and it named Serena. And guess what my name is? Serena. I want to try it, okay? I want to try this wild world ass Animal Cross game. That's that. I've already played Peak, so I know it's downhill from here. You know what Peak is. Up next, I really want the game Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. I think that game, honestly, getting it would finally heal me. I always dreamed of having that game, and I never got it. That's all there is to say on that. I just want it bad. I had the big ones. I had Mario Kart Wii. I had New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. Where was Mario Galaxy? It wasn't mine, but I really did want it. Then last but not least, another Wii game that I really wanted is Okami. So I know there was another game that came out this year. It was a platformer called Okami. And I am now wondering, do they have anything to do with each other? Are they by the same developers? I don't know, but... Okay, editing Serena here to correct the case. So my memory was just fumbling completely. So I'm thinking of this game called Nine Souls, the platformer with the little fox character that came out last year, and mixing it with my memory that they announced Okami 2 at the Game Awards, okay? So, yeah, all of that was bad. Okami on the Wii looks like a Zelda game to me. It looks like a Zelda game where you play as the little fox. Okami is a game that I had just never heard of, so I never got it, and it would be something I look forward to trying out because it seems cool. So that is, I guess, the bulk of it. I will say, these are short lists. I didn't want to make this like a multiple hours long video of me just ranting about every game I could have ever wanted or every console that I ever dreamed of having. So there will be other times where I make videos probably similar to this, just talking more about things that I would like to add to my collection one day or just like and want to talk about. But I guess for now that covers some of the things that I've been thinking about the most as of late. As always, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any same games that you really want to get or consoles that you have on your wish list that are the same as mine. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.